Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time today and for joining our webinar on the power of video in employer branding. My name is Aram Mia, and I am a media account manager here at LinkedIn. I'll be moderating our session today. And with that, I'd like to introduce our fabulous presenters today, Nathan Fanoff, who serves as a talent brand consultant here at LinkedIn, and Jessica Boyd, who is a talent brand and social media manager at Autodesk and a LinkedIn alum. Nathan and Jessica, on to you.
Great, thanks so much, Aram. So this is Nathan Fanoff. As Aram mentioned, I'm a talent brand consultant at LinkedIn. What that essentially means is I come from a background in helping companies to really develop and bring their employer brands to life. And so within LinkedIn, my role is to really ensure that our clients are making the most use of the platform to showcase their own employer brands, and then also to advise them as far as specific strategies to engage the talent pools that they're inevitably looking to attract to their organization. And I am joined today by Jess Boyd. Jess?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Jessica Boyd, or Weiss if you knew me before I was married. So I am the talent brand and social media manager here at Autodesk. I started my career at Yahoo Hot Jobs, for those of you who remember it, partnering and selling our talent brand products to some of their largest partners. I then went to LinkedIn, where I was in a similar role to Nathan, selling and strategizing talent brand with some of their largest customers. And after being in sales for a few years, I actually moved into talent acquisition at LinkedIn, where I implemented talent brand strategies for LinkedIn internally. And now I'm at Autodesk running talent brand and our talent brand social media. Super excited to talk to you guys today about video.
Great, thanks, Jess. So our agenda for today is as follows. This is what we'll cover over the next 30 minutes or so. I'm going to address first and foremost why video is such a powerful tool from a recruitment marketing perspective. Then I'll turn it over to Jess, who's going to talk specifically about what she's doing at Autodesk and how video plays a role in their talent attraction strategy. Then we'll also address kind of the elephant in the room here, that we all like video, but video is expensive to produce, or at least it can be. So let's talk about some cost-effective video solutions. And then finally, once we actually have videos established and in place, how can we leverage various social media platforms to use those videos to support our recruitment efforts? And we'll leave enough time at the end of the session to address some questions from the audience. And so for starters, the question is why video? Why are we here today discussing video? And if we take a step back and look at recruitment marketing overall, from a recruitment marketing perspective, we like to utilize content that tells a story, a relevant and transparent story of what it's really like to work at your organization. And if we talk about talent brand or employer brand, what I see as a high-performing talent brand is using things like content to engage the key talent pools that you're looking to hire or to attract to your organization. And good content can really establish relationships with candidates and enhance their perception of your brand before they even walk in the door. So by providing information like this, it really helps candidates just build trust and positive feelings towards your company. In fact, the biggest obstacle candidates face when changing jobs is not knowing what it's really like to work at your company. So if they don't know who you are well in advance, you're certainly going to miss out on attracting top talent to your organization. So how can you stand out to this target talent? Well, at the end of the day, people want to work for companies, not jobs. And utilizing things like video, we can now tell candidates what they want to know most about our company. So your culture and values, your benefits and perks, your mission and vision, and really give them that sneak peek into life at your company before they're inside interviewing. And so it's imperative that we provide candidates this kind of glimpse behind the scenes or this reveal behind the curtain so that they can truly determine if your company is a place where they can see themselves spending so much of their time. And the truth is, if they don't like what they see, then that's fine too. They self-select out of the process early. And that way your recruiters don't have to waste time having conversations on candidates that aren't going to be a fit. And by using video, it really gives us that tool to give candidates that tour before they go through that candidate journey. And so it really is the most valuable platform that we can utilize to give them that kind of life behind the scenes, that showcase of your culture and your people. And in fact, if we look at video as a medium, it just resonates much more deeply with viewers than something like an article or a blog post. In fact, we know that by 2018, the majority of internet traffic will be video. That's probably not surprising to you. But a few things that I did find even more surprising is that video content is retained at a 95% rate compared to read content that is retained at merely a 10% rate. So it's a much more powerful tool to really kind of effectively provide an image to somebody that they're going to remember and engage with. And in fact, if we say a picture is worth 1,000 words, well, the value of 1 minute of video equates to about 1.8 million words. So again, there really is no more powerful platform than video at telling a story. And going back to my previous story or previous slide, the content that we want to utilize is a story that's transparent and tells what life is like within our organization. And so we are going to look at what I consider a great employer brand video, but I do want to highlight a few of my favorites for you. We're not going to be able to watch them all right now, but they are hyperlinked in this presentation so that after the webinar, when this is distributed, you can simply click these links and view them for yourself, because these are what I feel are examples of truly strong employer videos. The first one I ever remember seeing was several years ago was Zendesk's video. It was kind of the first example to me of what a great employer brand video looked like, and it really just made you feel like you'd just been hired at Zendesk, and today is your first day in the office, right? You kind of take the tour, you meet your coworkers, you soak in the atmosphere, you see where you'll be working, you also see where you'll be relaxing and having fun. And it really just makes Zendesk sound and look so unique in just a mere 3 minutes or so. Starbucks is another example I like because it's one that really just clearly articulates their EVP, what we call their employee value proposition. In other words, what they offer to their employees in exchange for working for them. And so at Starbucks, their employees are not employees, they're partners. That's their EVP or part of their EVP. And this video really just brings it to life and shows that kind of sense of ownership and belonging and the benefits of being a partner rather than being an employee. OpenTable's video is one that follows a format very similar to Zendesk, in which it feels like you're just kind of really meeting the team. You could be onboarding at their office that day. But because OpenTable is a different company than Zendesk, they have a different culture. They have different personalities. You have a different feel that you're kind of left with by watching OpenTable. You get this kind of sense of, okay, this is a place where people can be themselves without having to kind of like conform to some corporate code. In fact, we'll take a look at OpenTable's video in just a minute. Kimberly-Clark is another one that I really like in that it doesn't actually use video of employees, but rather it's a completely different approach in that we're kind of taking on a live sketch tour of who Kimberly-Clark is, why they are who they are, and most importantly, what their well-thought-out people philosophy is, which is essentially their promise to their employees, and so what they expect of them and how they support them. And then finally, the last example that I'd like to offer is Sephora's video. It takes a completely different approach to any of the others in that it seems much more like a pop music video than a recruitment marketing video, including all the kind of choreography and costumes and energy that go along with a pop music video, and certainly the makeup as well. So I've been talking a lot about video. Let's just take a look as an example and view OpenTable's video, what they say, come join us at OpenTable, so that we can see how this makes you feel or what resonates with you over the next 3 minutes when you watch this video.
Welcome to OpenTable. Our headquarters are in San Francisco, but we've got offices in lots of cool places. At OpenTable, we power great dining experiences. But the best thing about OpenTable isn't the places we are or the products we make. It's the people that work here. This is Alex. Alex gives the best hugs. And these are our engineers. They're really in sync. Well, almost. These people build our restaurant products. These guys build our apps. Sometimes they can be distracted by their own technology. This is our CEO, Krista. She's as productive upside down as right side up. Bryce likes sharks. Amaya loves cricket. Not all of us are completely sure what cricket is, but we support him anyway. Steph heads up our people and culture team. She makes us all run. Seriously though, she does. Amy is doing our makeup for this video. She tried to avoid being on camera. Sorry, Amy. Connie and Ashley make us do juice cleanses. They claim it's good for us. We think that when we're not looking, they're sneaking burgers. Those look delicious. Alexa really likes cats. In fact, the whole design team likes cats. Dave is a sailor at heart. Jason is scared of water and sharks. No, not those sharks, Bryce. Yeah, those sharks. Really smart people work here, like Dylan and Chris. Dylan manages our total rewards, and Chris is on our product team. They calculate numbers and do smart things. Ted built us a coffee station. He's an engineer, but he has other talents too, like building coffee stations and growing a mustache. Ryan, our benefits analyst, loves Ted's coffee. He also plays a mean guitar. When we start a new engineering project, we push this little button. On Mondays, we eat bagels. On Wednesdays, we eat waffles. Brady and Sarah make the best waffles. We especially love waffles. Just look at those waffles. We dress up for formal Thursdays. Well, some of us do. In fact, we dress up a lot here. Leela will occasionally wear kilts, as did her Scottish ancestors. And sometimes we dress up for things we just can't explain. You'd have to see it for yourself. John claims he never dresses up, but we have evidence that he does. At the end of the week, we head over to marketing for Steakman's Happy Hour. They make delicious cocktails. That's Dennis in the middle there. You may or may not see him. He has a tendency for Irish goodbyes. And we too shall say goodbye. Oh yeah, come join us. We promise, you'll love it here.
So I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that video, but the sense that I get is that if a recruiter were to reach out to me for an open position at OpenTable, had I not seen that video, I'd probably have to have several conversations with her or any kind of other internal employees just to get a sense of what it would be like to work at OpenTable. However, having seen that, that really answers all my questions. And now I know the kind of the personality, the culture. Could I see myself being a fit there, that kind of quirkiness? That all comes through in 3 minutes that several conversations or reading any kind of content online could never really replicate. And so again, if I had seen that video and then I hear from a recruiter, it's going to be a much easier conversation for me to have just based on the fact that I was given that glimpse behind the scenes. I was given that kind of tour of the organization. I feel like I've met their employees, right? And so that really just kind of underlines the value of video in recruitment marketing and utilizing it as a tool to not just build awareness amongst key talent pools, but really to engage them and get them interested at your organization before they're even talking to or applying for some kind of position. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Jess, who's going to talk specifically about how Autodesk has been utilizing video in their talent attraction strategies. Jess?
Thanks, Nathan. So using content to promote your talent brand really allows you to show prospective talent, which your companies really like as an employer. And your followers are a potential pool of talent and are interested in consuming employer brand related content. So that being said, I want to share a little background about why we love video at Autodesk and how we use it to impact our key talent pools and change the perception about our company. So our challenge is, like many of you I'm sure who are on the phone do, we battle a perception problem. So many candidates think of us as an 80s AutoCAD company and really have no idea what we do. So our solution was, we're having a hard time finding tech employees globally and especially in the Bay Area. And so we wanted to create videos that helped tell our story. And so we created videos to show that our company and actually many of our teams were so much more. We're innovative, we're doing cool things, there's a ton of opportunity to grow here and make an impact. And those two photos at the bottom are actually shots from our video shoots that we ran. And it just shows the kind of full broad spectrum of people that were involved in getting this video done. So how did we do it? So the important thing for us was to show our teams and actual employees that work at Autodesk. And this, in my opinion, is the best way for prospective talent to understand teams and who they potentially be working with and in some cases working for. And also, since HR and TA don't always have the biggest budgets, we actually partnered with the business on funding for a couple of these projects. So this made creating the videos a truly cross-functional partnership and made us even more successful. And also, once a business is brought in, they want to make that content that much better. And so knowing a little bit of that background, here are the 4 things that we kept in mind when we pulled together these videos and the content for these videos. So first, you want to make sure that we prepped our employees. So have some sample questions they can think about answers to, like super easy questions. You know, what do you enjoy about working here? What would you tell a friend who is considering joining the company? What makes your company different from other places they've worked? You know, this really allows the video participants to feel comfortable once they get in front of the camera. And we had participants who were super outgoing in real life, and once the second the camera started rolling, they were less sure of what they were saying, just because anybody would be nervous once they're being recorded. And so it can be nerve-wracking, but a few encouraging words and prep really, really goes a long way. The second one, have a theme in mind. So whoever's going to be in the video, especially hiring managers, ask what they think is the most important content to put in front of your target audience. And also ask your recruiters what challenges they are facing and see how you can have the video participants answer those questions head on in these videos. And you know what, this was actually a new concept to me. I was like, okay, we have the employees, we gave them the questions, let's start filming. But actually the production company who we worked with asked what the theme was, and so I had to do some digging to better understand the challenges and the themes that we would uncover in our employee interviews. And so I'll show you an example shortly, but the more personal you can make the video, the better. So what personal connections do your employees have with the company? Do they have any stories they can share? Something that really brings the content alive and really helps it stick in people's minds. So you want to make it personal. You want to make it catchy. You want to have that lasting impression on your content that you're building. And finally, the hard part is editing. So you will want to create a beautiful end product. And with a little bit of money, you can get some rights to some music, as simple as that. I'll share some ideas shortly, but you do want to ensure that you have a video that blends together well. And it doesn't have to look like it was done by a huge production team, but you do want it to flow. And so now I want to show you one of our final products, and I'm going to play this video and I'll talk about it as soon as it's done.
Autodesk is fundamentally about empowerment. What our software does is it allows people to create things, to build things, to make improvements, fundamentally to empower the world and make the world a better place. We help people do transformation in the physical world. So the challenge for Autodesk as we move to the cloud is to extract all of that amazing intellectual property from our desktop software and turn it into cloud services. That makes that intellectual property available for anyone who wants to leverage it to help us make the world a better place. Here's a picture of a young woman named Jordan. Jordan's about 11 years old. Jordan was born with a limb that ends at the end just above her elbow. She and a number of her peers, we brought in with KidMob, and we sat them down with some of our developers, and over a week, we worked with them to essentially create, invent, and build a superhero arm. And just the emotional transformation of a young woman who comes in with what she thinks is a defect and walks away with a superhero arm, which makes it special. That's the kind of transformation that we do every day. There's a lot of companies in Silicon Valley working on amazing things and using amazing technology. I've had the privilege for working for a number of them, but I don't know another company in Silicon Valley that has that kind of impact on the world.
I hope you all enjoyed that minute and 40 seconds. So we prepped Lloyd with a few questions, but you can tell that he's super passionate about what he does and what we do as a company. No, I didn't prep him to tear up, but I actually get goosebumps every time I watch the video. And the best part is that so many people within the company love the video too. So it's been shared on our internal tools, it's been shared on our social media channels. all because the message was so powerful and showcased who we are and what we do as a company, but also that passion came through from one of our employees. So yes, we had some budget to do this video, but I also want to share some cost-effective ways to do this. So here are some ideas on how to make a compelling recruitment video on a budget. So you actually have everything that you need to create a great video. You can easily record beautiful video on pretty much any smartphone. And one of the next videos that we're about to shoot actually is going to be done this way. We have a video out there called I Had No Idea Autodesk Did, and we really want to make it a global video. And one way to do this is to have our employees in our global offices shoot their perspectives on their phones. So that way you get a wide variety of perspectives and not everything is done only at headquarters. You truly get a sense for who the company is globally. And also, this would enable you to spend less on the video content production and maybe would allow you to pay for just the editing portion. As far as content goes, so a video recording of someone reciting a mission statement isn't super compelling, and it probably won't get you more talent. We can usually tell when someone is speaking corporate speak, quote unquote. And actually here at Autodesk, one of our pillars for our content is that we must speak like a human. So no buzzwords or things that people wouldn't understand, but really making the content things that everyone would understand. And so because of this, the simplest way to attract people at your company is to show your current team talking in honest terms about what your company does and why they're passionate to work there. And you also want people to be their authentic self and tell their own stories. And showing this means recording some interviews and making your employees the voice of your company. Your employees are already doing this on their own, but here's your chance to give them a platform to share their story and get it out there in front of the types of people that you're looking to bring into your organization. So who should you interview? You know, don't just interview the CEO. Yes, you may want to grab a boss or a few hiring managers and senior folks on the team, but you want to get people at different points in their careers, maybe people who have been at your company for different lengths of time. One of the videos that we just shot, the employee just started in September, and we shot a video with her in it in December. And then we had somebody who's been at the company for 15 years who is also in that same video. So, you know, it's good to get the different perspectives and different levels because people trust their peers and they want to hear from people who are at their level or people they may be working with. And so along that vein, a day in the life video is actually a really easy place to start to share what your company is like. So don't just have people talking about what they do, but actually show it. Get shots around your office. It really allows you to show off your culture and your offices and what they're really like and what someone in that role would be doing in their day-to-day. And finally, the tough part, I'm not going to lie, is the editing. I certainly am not a video editor, but many computers actually come with basic video editing software that you would need. So iMovie on a Mac, Windows Movie Maker on a PC. With a little Googling and some tutorials, you can probably figure out how to edit your videos. Also, you don't need to go too crazy with special effects, so you want to be authentic and real. So similar to how we saw on the Open Table, there was no crazy special effects. It was just a real, true story of who they are as a company. And another tip is you may find somebody in your company who's super passionate about video editing. Ask them to help you and then take them to lunch for their efforts. One of our university recruiters here is an excellent graphic designer, and we had her create some posters and visuals for us around the office. You all have super talented employees at your company, and it's great to leverage their skills. Everyone loves to have a fun side project, especially if it's something that they're super passionate about. Also, like I mentioned before, if you end up getting a little bit of budget, you know, use that budget to pay someone to edit the film, edit the content that you shoot internally, and you might get the biggest bang for your buck. So now we have all of these amazing videos, and you have a cost-effective way to create them. And so what do you do with them? And so you want to use these videos across all of your social channels, and I mean all. So arm your recruiters. They can now share these videos with prospective candidates. So our recruiters have been leveraging these videos every time they send an email or in-mail. And then you can also add these videos to your career site and in job descriptions if you're able to. So we're actually working with our ATS currently, and we'll have function-specific videos on our jobs. Another simple tip is to have recruiters and team members add them to their email signatures. So your recruiters are likely the first point of contact with someone who is going to talk to your company. So arm your recruiters with these tools that will help share your company stories. So take these videos and share them across LinkedIn and all of your social channels. So you probably saw some of the photos in those previous slides that I was talking about from the video shoots that I took. I actually used those to create teaser campaigns. It said something along the lines of, here's a behind-the-scenes look at some awesome new videos we have coming, stay tuned. So people knew that we would have some new content coming forward, and I was able to drive up awareness and build awareness to prospective candidates that we wanted to get in front of. And I shared this across all of our social channels, and some paid and non-paid. And then once you have your videos, make sure that you share them through sponsored updates or through other targeted options so that you are putting your message in front of the audience that you're looking to potentially hire. And so we were able to do this, and we were able to show someone who wasn't already a follower what Autodesk is like as a place to work. And I shared these videos on Glassdoor and on Facebook as people do a lot of research about your company before they decide to interact. And I love LinkedIn. Obviously, I love LinkedIn, but there are many places that prospective candidates research, and you want to fish in every sea where the fish are. So ask your employees and brand champions to share. So we at Autodesk have an internal tool where employees can submit and share articles externally to their connections and friends. And so I actually seeded all of these videos so that we could extend the reach. So especially when there's such a huge emphasis on referrals, these videos have helped our referral efforts because there's something tangible employees can point to their friends to show them what Autodesk is really like as a place to work. And finally, ensure leadership takes an active role in sharing out these videos. So once the leaders share, their employees are likely to follow suit. In fact, Lloyd, who was in that video that I shared, was so excited about his video that when we hosted an open house at our office, he started his presentation with that video before I had even shared the final product on social media. And so because he was so excited about it, then his employees were even more excited. And so if you're able to get your content and your messages out there on all social channels, it's really going to help bring your company to life. But I can pass it over to Aram and Nathan.
Yep, thanks, Jessica. Like I said, we will be sharing the presentation once we wrap up today, so you'll always be able to reference it later, including the video earlier in the presentation that Nathan shared, as well as those examples also. So thank you guys again for your patience with that. So I think we can go ahead and move into our Q&A portion here. For those of you who have not asked questions yet, feel free to enter them within the Q&A section. We'll do our best to get to all of those questions. So we may as well get started. Now, Nathan and Jessica, one question that we had from a member of the webinar today was, how long should a video be to tell a story?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. And it's funny that you ask that because I absolutely love the open table video. Don't get me wrong, it's just a little long depending on how it's going to be used. So we aim to get our videos between a minute and a minute 30. Obviously, if you have a ton of content and you want to share and it's going to live in a place where people will spend the time to watch the full video, then a longer video is great. However, usually a minute to a minute 30 is best because if you think about how active you are online and how easily distracting it can be, it's best to keep the content short and sweet.
Great. Thanks, Jess. Another question that we had actually from a couple of people who are dialed in today is where can we actually take a look at all of Autodesk's career videos? Seems like there's a lot of interest in those.
Yeah, so we actually have a careers playlist on our main Autodesk YouTube channel. So I'll send that around as well. And in the slides, all of those videos actually link for everyone to see. Some of the videos on our YouTube channel are older, some of them are newer, but I actually worked with our corporate social media team to get a separate careers playlist. So they recommended against a separate channel just in terms of our brand and what our brand's goals were, but they were super on board with a careers playlist. So we actually have an easy place to point prospective candidates who may want to consume multiple videos for different teams or different themes.
Great. Another question from the Q&A. What would you guys consider a good video solution for a company who currently has remote employees?
I'll take that, and then Nathan, if you want to chime in as well. So
yeah, sure.
We actually have a lot of remote employees at Autodesk, and one easy way for us to do that has been having our employees record videos on their smartphones and then email or send them through Dropbox or Google Drive or something to the teams. We're actually running a couple contests internally, and all of our employees are able to participate. And if you have a smartphone, then they are able to get their content and record themselves. And then, as I mentioned, in the cost-effective ways, you could pull all of that together and have another company edit the video if you don't have someone on your team who's able to do that. Nathan, anything else to add?
No, I was going to say the same strategy. Have everybody film their own video. In fact, you could utilize that as your theme. Like, for example, if working remotely is one of the benefits of working for your organization, then let everybody submit a video where they show what their workspace looks like. And then, as Jess mentioned, have somebody edit them together. So now I can meet your employees no matter where they are, and then also get a sense of their individual personalities as well as the kind of the environment that they call their office, right? So that can be used as an advantage rather than a disadvantage for sure.
Yeah, and something else that just came to me as well. If your company has any global meetings where everybody's in the office at the same time, or maybe you have a couple people that all go and attend a certain conference, try to get some content shot there. So we have a few videos that were shot at our global sales meeting. One of the videos that we shot for our accounting team, they were having a big meeting at headquarters, and so they flew in some global folks. So you have a couple options to play with there as well. Aram, you there?
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I think I might have been on mute. So lots of questions surrounding employee participation and how to get your employees engaged or interested in participating in this video, but also a concern over what to do if you develop the video running the risk of someone potentially departing the company, no longer being employed there. So I guess this is a two-part question. First, how do you handle getting your employees on board to partake in this? And two, how would you manage potentially employees leaving the company after it's been completed and produced?
So I've actually run into both of those scenarios. So in terms of finding the right videos, we actually partnered closely with our recruiters and hiring managers and had them help identify rising stars in the organization or people that really had a great story to tell. You don't want to force anybody to be in a video if they don't want to, but if you have a VP or president or director level person that says you need to this person will be great for video, it's highly unlikely that that employee is going to say no. But that being said, it happens, but it's really identifying people that are passionate about it and maybe who are already doing this on their own for your company. As far as employees are leaving, one of the videos that's in our YouTube playlist, we had the video completed, and one of the employees actually left shortly thereafter. And we brought that to the attention to the hiring manager, and they were like, no, we still want him to be in the video because he really talks about the legacy that he was able to have at our company. And so it's okay if employees leave. I think it just, you want to understand what they're working on when they were here. Maybe you're actually hiring for that person's replacement, and you can talk about that. So as long as it's not, a 15, 20-year-old video, totally making that up, but then that what they're doing on their day job or what that team is doing is likely still relevant and still fresh.
Great. I think we have time for about 2 more questions, so I'm hoping to squeeze both of these in. To start, what are your thoughts on a general employment brand video versus a more specific function-related video?
I can take that one and then give it over to Jess. I'm a big fan of a function-specific video. I know that we haven't really addressed that over the course of the last 40 minutes or so, but we want to align the video with what your organization needs to attract from a talent perspective. So in other words, if we're struggling to hire engineers, well, let's showcase what our engineering culture looks like specifically for engineers. And so now we can make that more relevant and personalized for that particular type of talent. And in fact, OpenTable actually has an engineering specific version of their video that focuses on the engineering team because it's going to be like a subculture within the culture. So if you're struggling to hire a particular type of talent, then let's focus on that type of talent and show those exact employees in that specific experience for a function-specific video. Jess, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I completely agree. And so the way that our video strategy is today is that we are really focusing on the teams that we want to help promote because we already have some general branding videos about our company and what it is that we do. And so it's kind of nice to have the marriage of both of those. And so if you have 0 videos and you have nothing out there about your company, it might be great to start with an overall video. But if you do have some content out there on the web that really talks about your company and culture, then maybe you start with the functional specific videos that you're having a hard time, the type of talent that you're having a hard time hiring.
Great. So I think we have a lot of very inspired people on the line today because it looks as though people are ready to get started with even creating their own videos in-house, leveraging their own employees and shooting around the office environment. So on that note, there's a lot of questions around how do you start the process of shopping for a video editor or a production company that can help with getting this video up and running and ready to be shared?
That's a great question. So I was fortunate enough that at Autodesk we actually have a video production company that works closely with our marketing team, and so I was able to use them because they have done a ton of video for us in the past. And so, we always talk about how important it is to have a relationship with your marketing department, and so I would start there and see if they've used any vendors, and maybe you already have a rate as a company with a specific vendor. So I would start there. Otherwise, reach out to peers or, I'll tell you who we use if you reach out to me personally, and find some videos that you truly love and ask them who they use to produce their videos.
All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour, so thank you all for your time today. It was a pleasure to present with all of you. Nathan and Jess, appreciate you running through this presentation with us and sharing some best practices and your experiences. For those of you on the line, we will be sharing this presentation, so it will be distributed via email. Once we wrap up today, you'll be able to listen to the recording as well as reference those videos that we discussed. And there also will be a survey that is distributed as well, so please take the time to complete the survey so that we can ensure that these sessions are successful down the road as well. Thank you again and have a wonderful rest of the week.